Back with us on Indonesia This Morning. Have you ever wondered how you can boost productivity and win over the hearts of your colleagues at work? I bet you have. An organizational behavior specialist, Professor Fred Luthans from the United States, is here in Jakarta for a seminar to talk about people management. And we're just lucky enough to have him here with us in our studio. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning.
So we want to know about how to boost productivity, organizational behavior in our organization. What is the main key into boosting this productivity? What do we need to have?
Well, I'll tell you, we're here to find out and discuss this with this part of the world. Because what we're finding is that there is so much negativity, you know, just again as we were chatting before the commercial, that the point is that our news is so negative. Our world seems to be in a swirl of negativity. And what we're finding is that that carries over into our workplaces as well. So what we're trying to do is bring a science of positivity to the workplace.
Okay.
And we're convinced that this will increase productivity.
So where does that start, that positivity? Where does it have to sprung out from?
Yeah, it springs out, of course. In fact, we have a science that indicates that about half of our positivity and happiness comes from within our genes.
Genes?
It starts there, but doesn't end there. So our genes will even determine who will be positive and who will not. But when we put this all together, including our personality development as young children, we are about 50% or half are what we're called the set point for our happiness, productivity, and positivity. So what we're saying is that there's also circumstances that indicate, and that's way overvalued. The circumstances in terms of our income level, the circumstances in terms of where we live in the world, our circumstances in terms of how we look, that doesn't matter much in terms of our positivity. But what we have then is about 40%, according to the studies that are all put together into this kind of think of a circle, 40% is up into our intentions. And these intentions are up to us.
So
we can do something.
It's
from us, within. And it's what we can make out of things that either look at the glass as half full or half empty.
Okay, so now in your book, Psychological Capital, you concluded that workers' productivity is not only depends on intellectual and social resources, but also their psychology.
So psychological resources. And that's why I'm here for this seminar that I'm giving tomorrow morning at the Four Seasons Hotel, sponsored by Mark Plus, the very well-known marketing research firm. And I've come to this opportunity to teach about what I call psychological capital. And psychological capital is, we all know about economic capital. Some of us have recognized human capital, workers' experience and so forth. For example, Bill Gates says that the value of his company walks out the door every night. And he recognizes that it's the human capital, their experience, their innovation, their creativity, their motivation, their leadership. That's what makes companies great. And what we're doing is taking that message then to the test of, does this really work in terms of one's positivity correlated to their performance? And the answer is yes.
Okay. So one question is, how do you boost positivity when, say, a manager? How can a manager encourage their staff to work better when morale is low?
Yeah, and of course what we're trying to say is that we need to increase morale. And the beauty of psychological capital is, not only is it based on theory and research, but it also has valid measurement. We can measure how one's psychological resources are. And then thirdly, it can be developed, and fourthly, it has an impact on performance. And the psychological resources that meet that are called the HERO acronym. And the HERO stands for H, the hope, the E, which is efficacy or confidence, the R, which is resiliency, and the O, which is optimism. Those four psychological resources contribute then to one's psychological capital that we know relates to performance. We have that in the scientific journals. And secondly, we can develop it. And that's what I'm here to talk about in this seminar, and how we're going to do that, what some opportunities are to turn to competitive advantage because we all have technology.
So you always say that it comes from us, but there's other people also in our workplace. How do you handle these some people that are more difficult than others to handle?
And the answer is that positivity breeds positivity. There's actually a contagion effect. That if I'm positive, you'll be positive. If I'm negative, you'll be negative. That includes their leadership, that includes their supervisor, that includes their coworkers. But what we do know is that positivity from the beginnings, I mean, ancient Greek philosophy, Oriental philosophy, everything has said that positivity is important. Now we're bringing that to the workplace, and we're able to develop it, and we're excited about it, and we're going to talk about it in the seminar tomorrow.
So somebody has to start it, and let it start from us. Is that what
exactly
you're saying?
right?
Thank you, Professor Luthans.
Thank you.
Now, Professor Luthans obtained his PhD in Management and Social Psychology from the University of Iowa in 1965 and focused several of his research to better understand and manage human behavior in organizations.